Hey, it's Stacey from Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs and the Gardening Simplified show and podcast. And this year I've done something a little bit crazy in my garden. I've joined the no lawn movement. So no, it's not going to stay like this, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I'm going to tell you first why I removed my lawn. And the first reason is because it looked terrible. It literally looked awful. I mean, over the years, it had just kind of turned into a mishmash of weeds and patchy lawn. If you've ever heard me on the show talk about my yard, it's extremely sandy and it's extremely sunny. And I don't have an irrigation system and I'm not paying to water my lawn. So all those things together made for a lawn that was just really patchy, and by the midsummer, it looked awful. On top of that, it had never been graded. Just over the years, with soil moving and everything, it was like walking on the moon. I'm not even joking. It was really hard to walk through here because the ground was so uneven, really high in some spots, really low in some spots, lumpy, and it was just unpleasant. So it looked bad, it was unpleasant to walk on. And the second reason is because getting this fresh start like this, I can totally reimagine this space in the way that we want to use it now. So what we're going to be doing is reimagining the entire space as a series of interconnected spaces, beds, and pathways. So everything becomes one holistic whole instead of a lot of separate areas. And the third reason is that everything I'm going to be replacing the lawn with is going to be lower maintenance than lawn is. It's going to be deer resistant, which has to be out here. It's going to be drought tolerant, and it's going to be a lot more beneficial for the birds and the insects. And that's the main reason that I garden, is to make my yard more friendly for birds and insects in particular. That's where I find the joy in the garden. So this gives me a fresh start to do all of that, and I'm really, really excited about it. So you're probably wondering, how did we do it? And you could do this yourself. And the way you would do that is to rent a sod cutter, which takes up your sod in wide rows, and then that can be easily just torn up and thrown away. My issue with that is that I could have done that, but that would leave me with a lot of debris to get rid of, and I don't have a brush pile. I live in the city. There's no place I could just pile up a ton of old grass and soil. So I called a landscaping company and they did it. And honestly, I thought it was a very fair price for the amount of work. They got my entire quarter-acre lot done in just one day, had everything hauled away, and then they came back the next day to do the grading and make it more even. So to buy myself some time, since I'm not replacing this all with lawn and our plans for the space are really involved, what I'm doing to buy ourselves some time so I don't have to do everything at once is covering everything in mulch. And mulch, I think, is the perfect solution because number one, it's going to protect this soil while we're waiting to move on and do the next step. It conserves moisture, it keeps down weeds, which you can see is going to need to happen. They even missed a few spots and they're coming back to get those. And so the mulch enriches the soil. So as the mulch breaks down, it adds organic matter to the soil, which is great for a really sandy, lean soil like I have here. And it's easy to move. So when we are ready to move to another phase of the project, all we have to do is rake that up. We can throw it in one of these existing beds. And so it really helps us to buy that time. So you don't have to feel, if you want to remove your lawn, that you have to do everything at once and commit to everything in one season. You can do it slowly and buy yourself some time like we are. So what's next? Well, please don't mind the weeds, but our next step is going to be to go ahead and transplant these boxwoods because this is going to end up being an enclosed formal herb garden. And I want to make sure that I transplant these boxwoods as soon as possible so that they have the longest possible time to recover from being transplanted before the winter sets in. So they're going to come up about 3 feet here. That's going to be my first order of business. We're going to finish this patio, and then we have time to think about how everything else is going to happen. I will start transplanting some perennials this fall. I really don't want to miss the spring bloom of my beloved Decadence Baptisia and the summer bloom of my even more beloved Summerific hibiscus. So I want to be able to enjoy those where those are now, but those are going to come out too. So, I wanted everyone to just understand that if you want to get rid of your lawn and you want to reimagine your space, it probably costs less than you think to have it removed, and that you don't have to feel like you have to do it all at once and commit. You can use the same approach, just putting down about 3 inches of mulch, and that gives you all the time you need to rethink your yard and get the work done. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them as a comment on this video. I'd be happy to tell you what I'm doing, what my plans are, and how I did it. And I encourage you to rethink your yard and make it into a friendlier space for humans, insects, and birds. So if you want to keep up with project updates, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, because as I continue to work on the yard, I will continue to share updates and show you what's going on.